and welcome back to Pet Food Forum TV. I'm your host, Kristen Levine, and I'm joined once again by Isaac Matthews, the Director of Pet Food Ingredients at Lansing Trade Group. It's so good to see you again.
You too, thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, you are going to be talking at the show here about the evolution of grain-free solutions, right?
That's right, grain-free ingredients.
Okay, so let's start real simple. What is the definition of grain-free as we know it in pet food?
Grain-free is primarily not having corn, wheat, soybeans, any type of grain in the diet.
Okay, and why did grain-free take off so well in the pet food space?
Really, grain-free has followed the human trend. Gluten-free and other human trends that have happened in food has traveled into the pet food also. And then for reasons like dietary and nutrition and digestibility, there's been a trend away from grain and toward other ingredients.
So what's happening today with grain-free as opposed to, say, 5 years ago?
About 5 years ago, it's truly starting to take off. And what's happened is there's been additional capacity built to support that demand. Whereas some of the ingredients there wasn't a sustainable supply in place when it started to take off.
Okay. And what ingredients have taken the place of these grains, and will they stick around?
Well, I think there is some additional sustainability that's been built in the industry, and that's come from capacity expansion. But those ingredients are primarily potatoes, sweet potatoes, tapioca. There's been a lot of pulses also added to the portfolio, like peas and chickpeas and lentils.
Why does grain-free resonate so well with consumers?
I think grain-free resonates because it's healthy, it's part of the natural trend, it's the humanization of pets, and so there's more and more demand for it. And on the bonus side is grain-free is more digestibility, and quite honestly, you have less to clean up in the backyard.
Oh, hey, I like that.
Who doesn't?
And so what do you hope the attendees to your presentation take away today?
Well, I hope it creates some industry dialogue, certainly to see what's going on, see what has gone on, and I think it's important to note that what happened in the past may not happen in the future, and it's really going to come down to what the next ingredient is and how that fits into the diet from an economic and a nutritional standpoint.
Okay, and the ingredients we're looking at right now to replace grains are?
Well, I'd say an expansion of the current portfolio, but I think there's some other grain-free items like possibly additional legumes, beans, things of that nature that have the protein and the starch components, and they're economic.
All right, so fast forward another 5 years, what do you predict for the grain-free space in 5 years from now?
Oh, 5 years from now, where do I see this market? I think we really have to keep an eye on the human trends and what's going on there. I think anything could come full circle. I mean, whole grain bread is still a preference for humans, and it could come back around. There's some ancient grain activity and things like that. So I think there's going to be additional specialization of the diets, but I don't know it's necessarily going to be grain-free.
Okay. All right. Well, always great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Good luck with your presentation.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll be back with more on Pet Food Forum TV.